don't let the kids' first exposure to a mark making object be when they get to kindergarten. But I mean, do not make them do a single thing that they did not pick it up for themselves and do it of their own love. Do not make them do a single mark making thing before kindergarten. And I mean, I'm only saying kindergarten because that's the point at which adults in society will begin making them do it. I'm not saying that because I actually think that 5 is the right age, because I actually think that 7 is the right age. But I don't have the Department of Education has not called me for my opinion on that yet, and until then, then I have to say kindergarten. But if and some kids don't have any choice but to go to a daycare or a preschool or a nursery or whatever where they are doing it sooner than that. And I like if you can talk to the school and be like, you know, I would like to opt my kid out of having to do these worksheets or whatever, please do that. And if you can't do that, I understand where there are situations where you can't do that. And the best thing that you can do at home is to be no pressure about it at home. And honestly, I don't say a single thing about it. I don't say you're writing that letter backwards. I don't say that's not what an L looks like. I don't say, here, let me show you what an S is. None of it. Not a single thing about letters, about mark making, about coloring in the lines, about any of it at all whatsoever. I feel like I can't hit that point hard enough. And maybe if I was living in a society with more balance in it, then I would have a more nuanced position. But I'm not. I'm dealing with kids every day who are convinced that they are bad at school and bad at writing and will never be able to write. And writing is just not for them because somebody put a pencil in their hand when they were 3 and tried to make them write. And so I can't have a nuanced middle of the ground position when I'm fighting against quite a lot of information the other way saying, no, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to write, you need to be able to write. And if you could just do it sooner, that would help you in life. And it doesn't. Like you can this is also not the same as no one ever needs explicit instruction to learn how to write, because that's the opposite pitfall. Because reading and writing do not just dawn on people the way that language does. If you put a baby in a place where people speak to them, they will pick up language. If you put a baby in a place where people write around them, they will not just pick up writing and reading without ever being taught. A few kids with hyperlexic brains do, but other than that, they don't. So I'm not saying that, but I am saying you have to hold off until they're capable of the physical demands of the thing that you want them to do, because otherwise you took a body that was incapable of physical demands and made them believe that it was their fault. And like if you started talking to a newborn from the second that they were born and like being mean to them for the fact that they couldn't walk yet, I feel like you would screw them up in a similar way. Like, I don't know that because we aren't running that experiment, thank goodness. But like, I feel like it would do the same thing to if you know, months before they even knew what walking was or anything, if you were going like, why aren't you walking? You should be able to do this by now. Look, let me hold your feet and move them for you. Like, you would mess with their heads, and that's what we're doing to children with writing. And so everything that you do at home before kindergarten, and I would say still from kinder to second grade, at home at least. I can't control the adults at school. Um, Everything that you do should be, if it has anything to do with writing or mark making, should be for delight and love.